Good morning and welcome to the Planning Hearing Officer hearings for December 12th, 2012. My name is Laura Stotler and I'll be conducting the hearings today as the hearing officer. We have 4 cases and relevant exhibits are posted on the panels located directly behind me. All of the cases are available online. If you want to look at the staff reports, you can find them on the city's website along with all of the findings and draft conditions of approval for review and for comment. Under the provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.42 of the Glendale Municipal Code, a conditional use permit shall be granted if 4 required findings are present. We do have applications today for conditional use permits. We also have an application for conditional use permits that include sales, serving, and consumption of alcoholic beverages. And for those cases, there's an additional 5 required criteria that must be considered. Again, all those findings and the criteria discussions are included in those staff reports available online. We also have today some variances, and I believe that's it. If the evidence presented on the application and at the hearings meet the criteria, then the planning hearing officer can either approve or impose conditions for approval on the cases in question. If the findings of fact are not evident, then the request will be denied. Notification of this hearing was accomplished by the use of public notices which were mailed to property owners and occupants located within 500 feet of the subject property, physically posted on the site in question, and placed in the local newspaper. Hearings will proceed as follows. First, I'll read a description of the requested entitlement. The case planner will then make a brief overview presentation, giving analysis and making a recommendation. Then the applicant will be asked to come forward, stating both name and address, and will be asked to present a case within a 15-minute time limit. If the applicant has more than one member of his or her team, all of them together will get a combined total of 15 minutes. Then others in support of or in opposition to the application will then be asked to come forward to speak, stating both name and address, and will have a 3-minute time limit. Lastly, the applicant will be given the opportunity to make closing comments if desired in response to testimonies given by preceding speakers, and they will have 5 minutes for that rebuttal. The hearing will be closed and the case then taken under submission. After the hearing, the decision will be prepared in writing and will be in the form of a letter sent to the applicant and to all persons who responded to the public notice in writing by either speaking at this meeting and giving an address or who have given an address on their letter. The date of the decision will be the date appearing on the decision letter. Under the appeal provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.62 of the Glendale Municipal Code, all decisions may be appealed to the Planning Commission within 15 days of the date of the decision. Anyone wishing to appeal may obtain forms and brochures on the procedures from the Permit Services Center located on room 101 at this building. If you wish to speak today, please write your name and address on one of the speaker forms which have been provided by the front door. These are the green forms that look like this. And please present it to our planning assistant. I would also like to inform everyone that the official proceedings of the hearings are being recorded as part of the public record. So for the first case, we have conditional use permit, PCUP 1231396. The applicant is Janelle Williams of Williams Land Use Services, and our case planner is Kathy Duarte. This is an application for a conditional use permit to allow on-site sales, service, and consumption of beer and wine at a new full-service restaurant with indoor and courtyard dining, and the off-site sale of beer and wine located at 2331 Honolulu Avenue in the CR Commercial Retail Zone. And with that, I'd like to ask for a staff report.
Thank you, Hearing Officer Stotler. The new full-service restaurant, Casa Cordova, is located on the lower level of an existing 2-story building. It has approximately 1,500 square feet of interior floor area and 410 square feet of area in the courtyard. It will highlight regional cuisine and specialty dishes of Spain. In addition, there will be a 255 square foot retail space with imported Spanish housewares, wines, pottery, cookbooks, gift baskets, and specialty goods, along with wine tasting. Casa Cordova was projected to open in November and hopefully will open this month with the service of breakfast and lunch. The service of dinner is expected to follow. The hours of operation are proposed to be 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. 7 days a week, and the sale of alcohol is proposed during these hours. for on-site consumption as well as gift baskets and bottles for off-site consumption. The staff report contains comments and findings in support of the project, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Since I have no questions at this time, I'd like to call forward the Consultant Project Manager, Janelle Williams.
Good morning, Ms. Stoller. Thank you, Kathy. My name is Janelle Williams, 2418 Honolulu Avenue in Montrose. Happy to be representing Jeannie and Chris Bone today. This is a conditional use permit request for Casa Cordoba. It's a new Spanish full-service restaurant in the Montrose Shopping Park, located at 2331 Honolulu Avenue. The request is for a conditional use permit to allow beer and wine for on-site and off-site consumption. Hopefully they will open this month. It's very nicely appointed. I just took some photos yesterday and submitted those today. So I'm really excited about this. It's just down the street from me. I can't wait to go. I'll go right into the findings then, which we need to make. Alcoholic beverage service, including beer and in this case especially wine, is a normal business operation consistent with the commercially designated locations identified in the land use element of the general plan. It anticipates that full-service restaurants, including on-site liquor sales, as we are proposing, are appropriate uses in commercial districts. It also allows for the combined sales for on-site and off-site consumption. The restaurant will always be open to the public, and the menu will include a variety of Spanish offerings that will pair well with the selections of wine proposed to be offered. Montrose Shopping Park is one of Glendale's most vibrant commercial districts, and we anticipate that Casa Cordoba will fill a needed service market on the westerly end of the shopping park and will make me very happy. Why will the proposed use and its associated structures and facilities not be detrimental to the public health, safety, general welfare, or to the environment? The site is within an identified regional commercial center in Glendale. The existence of a restaurant with this type of Spanish-European tapas market is unique to the area, and the operation is highly unlikely to result in any calls for police service. The restaurant operation will provide the needed service for the Montrose community. Similar uses do exist in the area and have not proven to be detrimental. All licenses and permits are or will be obtained and kept in good standing. Outdoor dining will be on private property and will also include the service of food and all beverages allowed under their ABC license. In most cases, this will include wine and sangria. Why will the proposed use and facilities not adversely affect or conflict with adjacent uses or impede the normal development of surrounding property? The operation will be an asset to the area. It upgraded the previous tenant use, which was Jane's Cakes, and they've been gone for a couple of years now, so that space has been vacant. It enhances the ranges of commercial facilities within the Montrose Shopping Park. The existing use will not adversely affect or conflict with adjacent uses or impede the normal development of surrounding property, including the introduction of new uses into the shopping park. The full-service restaurant is well situated with respect to other facilities and will not adversely impact other facilities, property values, or normal development. Adequate public and private facilities. The structure, parking, streets, and utilities are all existing and are adequate for this restaurant operation. The adequacy of the public infrastructure will not be affected by this application. All adequate public and private facilities such as setbacks, utilities, landscaping, and open space are provided for the existing use, and the structure is properly accommodated and located on the site. Do you have a question about the layout?
I was just wondering how many tables you were going to have outside in the patio, and I just wanted to make sure that they weren't going to obstruct any path of travel for the other businesses.
Yes, we worked with Velia to lay out those tables the way that we have shown them, so as not to obstruct any path of travel.
Okay.
Thank you. The additional criteria, do you want to hear them? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. If the existing proposed on-site or off-site use is located in a census tract with more than the California Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control recommended maximum concentration, how does such use, how will it or will it not intensify or otherwise contribute to the adverse impacts on the surrounding area caused by such overconcentration? This establishment will obtain a Type 41 ABC license, which, quote, authorizes the sale of beer and wine for consumption on or off the premises where sold. Distilled spirits may not be on the premises except brandy, rum, or liqueurs for use solely for cooking purposes. Must operate and maintain the licensed premises as a bona fide eating place, must maintain suitable kitchen facilities, and must make actual and substantial sales of meals for consumption on the premises. Minors are allowed on the premises. All commercial establishments that serve alcoholic beverages must be located in commercially zoned areas of the city. And as such, those certain commercial areas could tend to be overconcentrated. This particular use, however, fulfills a need in the community whereby the responsible on-site sales enhances the operation and will address patron expectations for authentic Spanish cuisine experience. If the existing or proposed use is located in a crime reporting district with a crime rate which exceeds 20% of the city average for Part 1 crimes, how does such use not or will not tend to encourage or intensify crime? In general, the crime statistics will show that the existence of a full-service restaurant offering alcoholic beverages does not tend to intensify any crime in the area. The development and support of a vibrant local spot usually discourages loitering and encourages a more pedestrian and business patrons. We have spoken with Lieutenant Tim Feely from the Glendale Police Department regarding this application, and he has stated, and he did put in his report, that the operation as we are proposing would not be expected to result in any calls for police service. All areas will be monitored. We have security cameras on site, and that's encouraged as well by the police department. Standard conditions of approval will assure a well-run restaurant with continued positive community support and support from the police department. How does or will the existing or proposed use not adversely impact any church, public or private school, college daycare facility, public park, library, hospital, or residential use? No impact would occur as a result of this CUP. Casa Cordova is a neighborhood establishment serving residents as well as patrons and employees of local businesses. So the ability to have an alcoholic beverage with meals is an anticipated amenity, and no adverse impacts would result to any of the uses or the surrounding area. How will adequate parking and loading facilities be provided for the existing use? All structures, parking, streets, and utilities are adequate and provided for the establishment. The adequacy of public infrastructure is not affected by this application, and it is not expected to create any impact on traffic patterns in the area as the Traffic and Transportation Department has stated. Notwithstanding consideration, how will the proposed use serve a public necessity? The location and the unique interior layout and the outdoor interior courtyard lends itself well to the operation as proposed, which is European-style indoor and outdoor dining experience. Features a beautiful water fountain, lush landscaping within the relative protection of a quaint interior courtyard with landscaping throughout. It'll be a welcome addition to Montrose, serving a yet underserved market for authentic Spanish food, sangria, other wines, and beers. And standard conditions of approval will ensure a continually well-run establishment that also meets the public convenience and necessity. Any questions?
Just how are you going to control the noise outside? I know you have neighboring uses. Have you talked to them, or will you
Yes.
have noise outside?
Yes, and the proprietor, Jeannie and Chris Bowen, are here. They can speak to that, but I know that they don't plan on having live music during work hours when other people are using the building. They will have ambient music for meals. They have speakers in the outdoor courtyard that are tucked inside the planters. But the decibel level will always be kept low for the dining patrons, and they have worked this out with the neighboring tenants as well.
Would you be opposed to a condition of approval that restricted the noise, outdoor noise during the day, and then when the other businesses were closed, you could,
Restricted it, how so?
no outdoor music during the day when the other businesses are in effect?
No, we would like the ability to have ambient, low-level music, and if that's amenable to the other tenants in the building, and they have worked out an agreement between the landlord and the tenants, I think that because it's not out on the street, it's inside of the private property, I think they can work that out themselves.
Do you have a copy of an agreement that shows what you've worked out with the neighbors, or?
No, but
Okay.
I can have
If we made that
proprietor
a
speak to
condition
that.
of approval, would you prepare that and present it that says if there is a complaint with the noise from other tenants, that we would have a discussion we would revisit the noise issue?
I'll check with my client on that.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
I have no further questions. Next, I'd like to, unless you have anything else to add.
Maybe on rebuttal.
Okay.
Hearing Officer Stotler, could I add one thing?
Yes.
I wanted to mention that staff did receive 12 letters in support of the project.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank those people for lending their support as well. Were there any letters of opposition to this project?
No, there were not.
Was there any negative feedback from any of the other city departments regarding this project?
No,
Thank you.
thank you.
Next, I'd like to call forward Jeannie Bone.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Jeannie, owner and co-owner with my husband, Casa Cordoba, and I want to thank you for going through and reviewing our project. We're very, very excited about this project because if you've come and seen the courtyard in Zwick Plaza, it looks like Spain even before we even got there. And it's been very underutilized for many years as far as having the public being able to come and enjoy a really nice courtyard patio setting. And that was the inspiration for my husband and I, was to be able to bring a little bit of Spain to Montrose. And so our little saying will be Escape to Spain in Montrose. And so that we're complete with coming into the gate, having a Spanish experience. The music that you alluded to would be little speakers, very low, flamenco guitar. We're not talking about rock and roll or something loud. It would just be some ambient to create the feeling that you've actually gone someplace else just for the short period of time where you may have a breakfast or lunch or tapas in the evening for that period of time. So that's the inspiration. We have a gift shop to sell Spanish ceramics and cookware, so that's something that would be unique to Montrose, so that you, again, to create the feeling that maybe you've escaped for just a little period of time to go someplace else for the period of time that you're there. And that's the inspiration. And we want people to feel like they've come to our home and that they were presenting an authentic Spanish experience from top to bottom. And that's how we've decorated it, that's how we're presenting it, and that's what we want people to feel when they come to Casa Cordoba. So that's it. Anyway, if you have any questions?
No, not at this time.
Okay,
Thank you. I'd like to call forward Chris Bone, please.
Hi, I'm Chris Bone, co-owner of Casa Cordoba. My wife Jeannie just spoke to the things that we wanted to just mention, and we do thank you very, very much for your consideration, and we're very happy to be part of a wonderful city here. We do thank you for your consideration, and we think we're bringing something positive to the area, and we thank you again.
Okay, thanks. I'd like to call forward next Randy Strapazlin. Sorry.
Good morning. As a frequent diner in Montrose and a very good friend of the Bones, I would like to speak in support of the applicant. I admire them, first of all, for opening a restaurant and thank them. I can tell you that they already have a built-in clientele that should keep them in business for at least 20 years. We need more full-service restaurants west of Ocean View. We have a cluster on the east side, and they're all very good, and I've been to all of them. But I also, and I hate to admit this on TV, get my hair done at, because it's in a bad state today, J. Lauren, which is right next to the restaurant. And there isn't a lot of foot traffic, because beyond the restaurant there is Joselito's, and then there was the Montrose, the travel agency. So as you walk along, it gets fewer and fewer reasons to walk west. And this restaurant would just bring in many, many people that would normally be dining on the other side of Ocean View. The patio is such a unique asset, and you have in Glendale, I admire you for your fresh air ordinance, which allows families to come and sit on the patio, smoke-free, and really enjoy themselves. And I have to say, I think the low-level music would really be a wonderful addition, because it does, as Jeannie said, give you a feeling that maybe you can't get away for a long time, but maybe you can get away for 45 minutes or an hour. And in today's hectic world, especially this time of month, that would be a relief. So I would like to say that they're both responsible people. I think you have found that out. And that, again, we're really looking forward to it opening. So thank you very much for supporting it.
Okay, thank you. I don't see any other cards for this item. Is there anybody else who would like to speak on this? Okay, seeing none, I would like to call back the consultant project manager, Janelle Williams.
Thank you very much. Speaking with Jeannie, they've been testing their sound system in recent days with no complaints from any of their neighbors. Okay. It's a positive asset to the community. I can't wait for them to open. It's a great concept. They're great people. It's a great business plan. It's an awesome location, and we would really appreciate your approval of this and your support and a long term for the conditional use permit.
All right.
Okay?
Anything else to add? No?
About it.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Seeing none, I will take this item under submission. Thank you. Our next item is conditional use permit case number PCUP 1231365. It's located at 3730 North Verdugo Road. Applicant is Alicia Levanchi, and the case planner is Chris Baxter. This is an application for a conditional use permit to allow the on-site sales, service, and consumption of alcoholic beverages at an existing full-service restaurant with covered outdoor dining located at 3730 North Verdugo Road in the C3 Commercial Services Zone. May I have a staff report, please?
Mic is on now. Is that my right name? Okay. Project is located at 3730 North Verdugo Road, as you mentioned. It is the Vina Cucina Restaurant, which is a 2,300 square foot full-service restaurant with an outdoor dining area. There's 15 on-site parking spaces, and there's 11 off-site parking spaces located across the alley to the east at 3709 Clifton Place. And if we look at the screen up there, as well as a board of relationship on the board, you have on the left, that's colored, that's the site plan. Directly to the right of it is a map that shows the parking spaces in relationship to the Vina. And you see the floor plan, the zoning in the area, if you'll note, is all commercial. There is an industrial zone behind it to the east. The restaurant is open 6 days a week, closed on Mondays. That's noted in your staff report. And very briefly, as noted in the staff reports, go through these. The staff recommends approving the conditional use permit. State that the detrimental or adversely affect or conflict with the community normal development. So there's adequate public and private facilities. It is consistent with it. It should be noted that this project, the Divina Cucina, has been serving beer and wine since 1996 and distilled spirits since 2005. So they have a long record, which we feel helps in these just made there. Additionally, it is one of 6 establishments that sell alcohol in the area. So it's not intensifying it, and there's no Part 1 crime. Put it in the staff report. It is for you to review, as well as conditions of approval. We have 20 of them. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to go through those with you, and I'll be here to discuss it. Yep.
Just to verify, those conditions of approval are similar to the ones that were previously in effect?
Yes. That would be unusually different. Maybe the applicant may have thoughts on it. I did not discuss them with her or him. So they'll let us know if there's something that is.
Right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have no further questions. I would like to call forward now Alicia Levanchi.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Alicia Lavanchi at 3730 North Verdugo Road in Montrose. And as was already said, we are applying for a renewal of our conditional use permit. And basically, everything has been said. We have a history of 16 years without any problems. We have been actually very successful and supported by the community. And we are planning to continue offering the same services as to now. So if you don't have any questions, that's about all I have to say.
Did you have any concerns with the conditions of approval that were in the staff report?
No, not really.
Okay. Then I have no further questions for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to call Mr. Hector Levanchi, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Hector Lavanchi. I'm the manager and owner of Divina Cucina restaurant. Just a little comment regarding the Cordova restaurant. They're gone, but I don't like the fact they're going to get all the foot traffic. My restaurant's going to be empty if they get all the traffic in that area. Just a little nothing. I really don't have very much to add to it. As stated on Mr. Baxter's remarks, we opened in 1996. I believe we have been an asset to the community. We offer a beautiful building with landscape, well-maintained. It's an asset to the community and to the area. And we will continue offering the same quality of food and service as we are done so far. And we just wanted to remain there and be part of the community. And that's just about it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't have any other cards on this item. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak on it? Okay, I don't see any other requests. Therefore, I am going to approve this item, subject to the conditions of approval that are included in the staff report.
Thank you.
We'll go on to the next item. Next item is a variance request. It is PVAR 1229518, located at 1420 Irving Avenue. The applicant is Edward Hagobian and Associates. Case planner is Brad Collin. This is an application for a setback variance to construct a first-floor addition and new second-floor addition to an existing single-family house where the house will exceed 20 feet in height. and will maintain a non-conforming 4-foot interior setback where 5 feet is required. Again, this is located at 420 Irving Avenue in the R1 low-density residential zone. And I would like to call for a staff report.
Good morning, Ms. Stotler. As you mentioned, the subject project is located at 1420 Irving Avenue. The zoning for the property as well as surrounding property is all R1 single-family zone. And the general plan for the area is low-density single-family. The subject property is a 9,865 square foot rectangular shaped lot. Lot dimensions are 60 feet wide by 164 feet deep. Currently, there's a 1,645 square foot, one-story single-family home with a detached two-car garage on the property. The house was built in 1940. The applicant is proposing to add 231 square feet on the first floor, which will be located toward the middle of the house at the rear, and a new second floor of approximately 1,018 square feet. Now, the total floor area will be 2,894 square feet, with a maximum floor area allowed is 2,959. The applicant is requesting a setback variance to allow the proposed house to maintain an existing nonconforming 4-foot setback on the south side of the property. And because of the second-story addition, which will then cause the house to be over 20 feet in height, code requires a 5-foot setback. The applicant is requesting to maintain this nonconforming setback and be able to make the second-story addition. After the second-story addition, the total height of the house will be 26 feet 11 inches. The first floor addition, as I mentioned, will be located at the rear and at the middle of the north side, adjacent to the driveway. The second story will have a 12-foot 11-inch interior setback from the south side of the existing house. The first and second story additions will exceed the minimum 5-foot interior setback requirement. Staff believes that the 4 findings can be made for the variance as outlined in the staff report, and staff has received only standard code requirements from the various departments that were invited to prepare comments. In addition, staff has received one letter in support. It actually wasn't a letter; it was a phone call in support of the proposed project. So, staff's recommending approval based off the findings and conditions in the draft. I'm available for any questions, and the applicant is in the audience.
I have no further questions for you right now. This is a nice staff report. Thank you. May I please hear from the applicant and architect on the project, Mr. Edward Hagobian?
Good morning, Laura, and thank you, Brad, for presentation. My name is Edward Hagobian. I'm the architect of this project, and we have responded to these 4 findings. Shall I go through this, or?
Well, do you agree with what is in the staff report?
Absolutely.
Okay, then you don't need to go through them again.
Except one issue here, which is the requirement to have a landscape plan, because the existing landscaping in the front is a lawn that there's nothing to be done with that, and there is a tree there, and on the backyard also there is a mature landscaping and trees there. There's not much to change or to add to this landscaping.
What is the slope on the property?
Almost
Okay,
flat.
so it's less than 20% then?
Yeah.
Throughout the property? Okay, because I know there's some in the rear. I thought there was a rear. I might be getting it mixed up with a different case. Some elevation to the rear. I just want to make sure it's not, okay, so there's no code requirement then for a landscape plan on the remodel if they're not building in that area? Correct, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else to be said or to be added, or?
No, I don't have any other cards or any other questions on this item. So thank you. Anything else you wanted to add?
No?
Nope.
Yeah.
All right, if not, then I will approve this item. I will remove the requirement for a landscape plan on the understanding that that would fall under the purview of Design Review Board.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And the next item is, I don't see the applicant or the case planner for the next item, so I will take a 5-minute recess. Thank you. Welcome back. Our next case is 1414 Columbia Drive. This is a standards variance case number PVAR 1221746. The applicant is Vicky Barbieri, and the case planner is Vilya Zamatitis. This is an application for a standards variance to construct a two-story addition to an existing single-family residence and a new two-car garage accessed from Dartmouth Drive on an approximately 5,200 square foot double frontage lot. And this is located in the R1R restricted residential zone. And I'd like to call for the case presentation.
Yes, good afternoon, or good morning still, Ms. Stotler. As you just mentioned, this is a standards variance case for 1414 Columbia Drive. This case was last continued from the November 7th hearing date, and the applicant is proposing to add a two-story addition to an existing single-family residence on a 5,200 square foot through lot that has street frontage both on Columbia Drive to the north and Dartmouth Drive to the south. The applicant is requesting a 7 foot 9 inch driveway setback when an 18-foot driveway is required by code, a 7 foot 9 inch front street setback, and a 0 foot interior setback for the garage, instead of not less than 15 feet for the front street setback and 5 feet for the interior setback. She's also requesting to allow the area below the two-story residence addition in the deck that's supported by caissons or columns to remain unenclosed by walls, which code requires that it be enclosed, and also to allow overheight walls and retaining walls ranging from 18 inches to 7 feet in the front street setback along Dartmouth Drive. Also along the interior setback proposed for the proposed stairwell, and to also legalize the retaining walls in the front street setback along Columbia Drive in the interior setback. So obviously they have numerous variances for this particular project site. The site, again, is located in the R1R restricted residential zone in the Adams Hill, which is a neighborhood that is known for its windy, curving streets, small lots, also sloped hillside lots as well. The average current slope for the property is 39.5, and that was submitted by a licensed land surveyor. So it does not exceed the 40% limit in the R1R zone to allow for a floor area ratio of 0.45. The property has a street address on Columbia Drive, and you'll notice in the aerial photograph there are existing stairs at the top of the aerial photograph, and so the address is off of Columbia Drive to the north. And however, the house itself, the front elevation is going to be facing Dartmouth Drive, and the garage is going to have access off of Dartmouth Drive as well. The property has had an extensive code enforcement history dating back to 2002-2003. The existing Spanish-influenced property, as you see in the aerial photograph, was constructed in 1925. There was a one-car garage that was either destroyed or demolished prior to 2003. The house had been significantly altered and retaining walls constructed along Columbia Drive without permits by the previous property owner. And again, the previous one-car garage off Dartmouth Drive collapsed about a decade ago, and this was supposed to be rebuilt as a two-car garage by the previous property owner, but it was never done so. The variances, I would like to also note that there have been two variances approved for the project site. The single car that was demolished by an earthquake damage and intended to be replaced by a two-car garage was approved for a reduced setback in 2003. That variance was never built or done. The 2003 variance approval also allowed for an overheight retaining wall and stairs in the front setback. There was also an additional variance that was approved in 2000, 3 years prior to that, again, for overheight walls, reduced setbacks, and whatnot. It was approved, but it was never acted upon. So both of those two variances were pretty much for the same situation that's being proposed today, except because they have expired since, obviously, 2000 and 2003, they're inactive and not valid. The current property owner, again, is proposing to add a two-story addition to the existing residence. The two-car garage would be facing Dartmouth. the property owner, or the current property owner, the applicant itself, we've worked extensively with the building and safety staff to make sure that the proposed addition complies with what staff calls the 50% rule, so that not greater than 50% of the exterior walls and roof are being removed. So this is not considered new construction. Otherwise, that would have opened up a whole other series of required variances because of the lot size and the lot width. Staff believes that the positive findings for the required variance can be made for the proposed project. The proposed project basically essentially rehabilitates a red tagged house, and this house has been red tagged since 2010, so it has been vacant since that time. It's been a significant code enforcement case that essentially this project would make viable and a habitable house once more. The 5,200 square foot lot is smaller, but it is compatible and consistent with adjacent lot sizes in the neighborhood. The house, again, because of its current location, there are limits to where you can add additions, and so they are proposing it at the most essentially easiest, most correct. The house, the two-story addition, is being proposed as an extension along Dartmouth with a two-car garage down below. So because of the size and the existing site plan, it's encumbered, by the fact that it is a through lot. It has dual frontages, both on Dartmouth and Columbia, that limit the location of any construction. Prohibiting the construction of the proposed project and the two-car garage on this hillside lot that up to the last decade had been developed with a home and a one-car garage adjacent to Dartmouth would result in practical difficulties and undue hardship. All of the surrounding lots are developed with single-family homes and residences that are similar on R1R type lots in Adams Hill, meaning they have slopes, they're smaller in size, many of them do have dual frontages. And I have a map behind you pinned up against the wall that shows the numerous variances that were proposed within 300 feet. So you have more than, I believe, more than 20 variances for overheight walls and setbacks just within the 300-foot radius. So this would not be something out of the ordinary. The proposal would not be detrimental to the public health, safety, and welfare, and it would allow the subject property to enjoy the benefits that are afforded to other similar type of homes. If approved, this project would be required to go before the Design Review Board. The staff included the summary of the code enforcement history by Yvette Manukian, the city attorney. Staff report also included a topographic survey showing the average current slope, as well as that map of the adjacent properties with approved variances. Staff recommends approval of standards variance case with 7 conditions listed in the staff report. So if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
No, I don't have any questions at this time. That was a very thorough staff report, so I wanted to thank you for doing all that research. That was a lot of work, and it was very helpful. I have one speaker card. I'd like to call forward the applicant architect, Vicki Barbieri, please.
Good morning. My name is Vicki Barbieri. I'm the architect and co-owner of the property. My son and I bought this property in 2009. Everybody thought that the house destiny was going to be demolished, but I always have faith in what we can do, and we want to save the house, even against everybody else's concept that it could be saved. Then we achieve everything that Vilia has described in an unbelievable, extraordinary report. Even I learned things that I didn't even know about the variances. Then I really thank you very much. I worked very hard for the property, but I would never be able to achieve it without Vilia's help and without the city of Glendale help. Then I'm glad that we have got to this point. We still have a road to go, but we are willing to go all the way. I accept all the conditions. I think they are reasonable and under the law. And again, we are very happy to have got to this point after very, very long time and many, many requirements justifiable requirement for the different departments that we have been able to comply. And that's all that I need to say.
Okay, thanks. I have no further questions. I see no one in the audience. I have no letters in opposition. Therefore, I am going to approve this case with the conditions of approval as they are stated in the staff report.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
We have no other cases on the agenda for today, so this meeting is adjourned.